Shalom, it's me, Sudden Skye, and welcome back to Mega Man 4 for the NES. And we only have 2 Robot Masters left since the last part, and we are going to be taking on Drill Man, which is one of the more hard Robot Masters in my opinion to take on. But you do get something special, which is why a lot of people will take him on early. So Drill Man is a digger robot for construction site. He has been given an award for finding a gold mine. It's cool that they give robots awards in this universe. Like, at least robots are like somewhat respected. Good point, he's industrious. A bad point, haphazard. Likes a rush job and dislikes calculations. Huh. It's very strange. I can imagine a lot of the places that Drill Man builds, it's not that very safe, you know. But as you can see, there's a lot of death spikes in this stage. I don't go for the Kaizo trap, which is that life. I think my first few times, like, recording Mega Man 4, I'd always go for that, and I'd always end up dying. And even though I do have like the rewind trick, I'm trying to not use that in this playthrough, even though I think I used that a few times when I mess up later. Anyway, a lot of spikes, a lot of those bats, those Batantons or something. Those bats are very special to the Mega Man series. You see them a lot. Like I think their first appearance was in Mega Man 2, and then from then on out, they were like, we need to bring this bat back. They even bring the bat back for Mega Man X, and I don't know if they do it for any of the other X games, but I think we do see the bats in one of the Mega Man Zero games, although I'm not too familiar with the Zero series. It's cool that they're coming out with a collection for those games, though. Like, I think I missed out on the whole Mega Man Zero wave when it originally came out. Like, I don't know. I don't think I could play a Mega Man game on a Game Boy Advanced is the thing. I guess it's cool that it's coming out for a collection where I could just play it on my Switch or whatever I choose. But here, you see that I use the Bright Man ability to freeze the rocks from falling down, which, you know, it's very helpful. You can get through the stage without using that ability, just by like being fast or timing when those rocks fall, and you can just like going through between the periods of time. But that's work. Why make your life hard when you could just use the bright stopper or whatever? And there are those levers that you have to push so you are able to land on the land. If you don't pull that lever, you just fall in the pit. And here we have Drill Man. Very sporadic actions here. Occasionally, I guess if you shoot him fast enough, he digs into the ground. But if you don't shoot him in time for that, or whatever you do to not trigger that digging in the ground attack, he'll start walking at you and start shooting these exploding drills, which I'm very afraid of because I have no idea how to avoid. Like, if he's like shooting a drill at you that's exploding, so you just like jump over that. But if he's walking towards you at the same time, like, you're just stuck between a rock and a hard place at that point. But yeah, I managed to take him down with my regular old Mega Buster because I didn't know his weakness. I don't think I had his weakness. I think his weakness was Dive Man's ability, so, you know. But I did have some E-Tanks to spare, so I wasn't too worried. So now we have the Drill Bomb, which is just a drill. And here's the special item that I mentioned in the beginning, the Rush Jet adapter. You're now able to use Rush Jet, which, you know, I think in earlier playthroughs I always take on Drill Man just for that ability, because, you know, Rush Jet does come in clutch many a time. Less so in the later Mega Man games, but he's still pretty clutch. And here's Dive Man stage. Dive Man is Dive Man is one of the more forgettable Robot Masters for me. Whenever I think of like the Robot Masters, I think Dive Man's like the last one I think of, and I confuse him with Hard Man sometimes because they're both like blue, but very different abilities. And he is the Water Robot Master. And Dive Man, a robot that has the ability of a submarine. His dive missile is an amphibian homing missile. His good point? He's got a keen ear. Bad point, motion sickness. He likes Coral Reel and dislikes Pirate Man. So Pirate Man is not a he's a robot master, but he doesn't show up until Mega Man and Base. Like it's very strange because all his data did come out. It came out later in Mega Man's lifespan, where like Mega Man Base comes after Mega Man 8, so that should give you a good idea. It came out for the Super Nintendo, which is very strange. Mega Man 4 came out at the same year, I think maybe like right after the Super Nintendo released. So at this point the Super Nintendo was already out, but they were still making Mega Man games for the NES. Very strange. Like they come out with 4, 5, and 6 after this. Like they the Mega Man creators must have loved the NES. But yeah, Pirate Man is on Mega Man and Base, which comes after 8. So we might not be seeing Pirate Man for a long while. Oh, and here it may look like a bottomless pit, but it's a pit full of spikes, and at the end you get the W ability. Which is amazing, because it lets you reach high places. As long as there's a ceiling above you. This is not a very fitting stage for such an ability. But we can use the Rush Marine. Thought I'd show this off. So Rush Marine is just like a less useful Rush Jet. In my opinion. Like, you can like control wherever you go, but you could only do it underwater. Like, it's not that useful. You could use Rush Jet in air and water, but Rush Marine is very situational. So I guess use it whenever you see water. Water is very rare in this game. Like, the only reason I decided to use it was because this is a water stage. I guess if you're having trouble with the falling in the pit section with all the spikes, you could use Rush Marine. Thought I'd decide to trigger that. So now we have Dive Man, which is the hardest Robot Master, which is why I saved him for the last. So he'll want to always charge into you, and since like the water is, it makes you like low gravity jump, like you jump really high because of it. It's very hard to time when you should land, because right after he charges into you, he'll most likely try to charge into you a second time. So you land right into that when that happens. And if he doesn't charge into you, he shoots his homing missiles, so those missiles will always just track where you're going and what you're doing. So you want to be extra careful with your jumps. And I think I managed to get lucky with using the Mega Buster here. I forget what I actually do. Did I use the rewind ability? No, I did not. But his weakness is the Skull Shield, which is also very difficult to use because it's not a projectile. It's a shield. It stays around you. So the only way you're gonna be able to hurt Dive Man with that ability is if you're right next to him, or you land right into him, but you end up taking a hit if you land on him with the shield, so it's sort of like a double-edged sword at that point, and it wastes its energy very quickly. And the dive missile absorbs the Skull Shield, so if the missile hits you before you touch Dive Man, it dissipates and you just end up just getting hit by Dive Man. So I'm dying to Dive Man a lot, as you can see. Very, very not fun Robot Master to fight. unless you know, I guess, how to dodge those homing missiles at the same time, which, you know, I sort of got, you could sort of get a rhythm going with it, but, you know, it's not my favorite Robot Master to fight. And that's the end of Dive Man. We never see him again. Actually, I think we see him in Mega Man 7 as like a little cameo. But other than that, he's donezo. Now we have the dive missile, which just, you know, homes in on a target, much like the homing missiles in this boss fight. And that is the end of this part. And here's a little teaser for what's to come. Dr. Cossack, we're gonna come for you. See you guys later.